Okay, so this video is going to be about how to do the talk for the Lunch and Learn. And honestly, there's a million ways to do the talk. I mean, there's certainly not just one way to do this. And if you've ever done any kind of patient education talk of any kind, that kind of format would work. But I think for me personally, doing talks, lunch and learns or dinner talks or things that we did like that, I usually would start out by asking a couple questions to the crowd about, just to get their involvement about like what is health, or what controls your body, and some silly things like that. That's kind of how I would get started. Something to get them laughing, make them realize a little bit how much the media's controlled them. So, I learned this from a doctor a long time ago, and I actually think it was pretty powerful to show people how much watching TV and commercials really influences them. And so, you could start off by saying like, milk does the body, and everybody in the crowd will say good. And the sniffling, sneezing, anytime medicine or whatever, and they'll all say it's NyQuil. So they've been kind of force-fed these things in commercials, and it really influences their thought patterns. So I will kind of start my talk with things like that to kind of get them going a little bit. And then as I was going along, I would usually tell my story, like how did I get into what I do, how chiropractic helped me. And my personal story truly is that I had a lot of heart issues, and chiropractic care was the thing that really fixed that for me. My upper neck was misaligned, and it was affecting the rhythm of my heart, and I had, prior to that, had about 3 heart surgeries. I had 3 heart surgeries, and I had 20 years of medication, and an adjustment fixed that. And so I know for me, I have a really good story there, and everyone's always like amazed that chiropractic could help with that. But from there I can kind of lead into why it helped, like how did that help me, and what else could chiropractic help if it helped me with my heart. And it just gets people thinking a little bit. And then there's going to be some kind of close to your talk as well. So now if you're doing a weight loss talk or something like that, it's going to be a different thing. And maybe you have a really great weight loss story, and the story doesn't have to be about you. It could be about a patient in the office or something. That people love to hear stories. So when you start telling a testimonial story of some kind, I think you're going to draw the people in a lot more. So now when you get to the end of your talk, there has to be a close of some kind. And this is where most people really fail. And it's the most important part of the talk. And you can look at it from a sales perspective, or just like you're really trying to help people. And if you mess up the end of the talk, you're not going to help very many people. If you just kind of get to the end and say, well, I hope you enjoyed my talk. If you'd like to come in someday, give us a call, and then you're done. That would be easy to do, but nobody would come in. So, as far as exactly how we did that at each talk was maybe a little bit different each time, but depending on the environment we were in and what we could and we couldn't do. But you have to make an effort to really schedule people that day. And I would even tell people when I was doing my talk, I'd say, I'm gonna give you guys a little push today, because we all need a little push. A lot of times we want to do something and we don't make a decision about it that day, and we don't get it done. You can think of things in your life where that's happened, and I know that I've had lots of places where that's happened. Let's not let this night here, this day today, be that day. There's a really, really great chance for you to come in and see what's going on in your body, what we could help you with, and what we could do for you. And there's no obligation to it. It costs whatever. It's either free, or you give them some special offer to come in to get their spine checked and looked at, and their nervous system looked at. And but I think it's important that it has to be done that day. It's not something you can put off. You can't call us tomorrow. It's not available then. It's full fee. So if it's something that you want to do, you need to do it today. You have to have that kind of close. And you're not pushing them, or it's not uncomfortable, but you just make a statement and say, this is how it is today, and I hope that you want to do it. And if you don't, then I wish you the best too. It's not like they don't have to do it. You don't make it. Hopefully that makes sense. You can't want them too much, but at the same time you have to say, this is something that has to happen today. So that was kind of how we closed that talk. But I think as far as how you do your talk, everyone's going to do their talk a little bit different. Some people are really forceful in their talks. Some people are more laid back. I'm probably a little more laid back when I do my talks, and I think it works really well either way. But I hope that helps a little bit as far as the flow of the talk. But again, and I'll say this in other videos too with other things that we're doing, the scheduling is really, really important. And I know I always had staff with me whenever I did talk, so as soon as I got done, the staff knew that they went right to where the tables were and they asked each person, when they wanted to schedule. And if they didn't want to schedule, that was fine, but they didn't come up and just stand there by the wall and hope someone came over to them. They went to the people and said, what day would work good for you. And really that worked really, really well. And the scheduling has to be done quick. Don't schedule someone and have them scheduled for 3 weeks from now, because they're going to forget about it. They're going to forget about what you said. And this goes not only for a lunch and learn or a dinner talk or a screening or whatever, it's always the same. If someone's going to make a decision to do something, they need to do it right away. Otherwise they forget about what you talked about. And I would even say that in the talk, if you're going to schedule with us today, you need to be in the next couple of days, because I want you to remember the things we talked about today. Otherwise people tend to forget and they can't really remember why they scheduled. So hopefully those little tips help, and I hope this program is something that you can implement into your office. It's pretty easy to do in just about any city. So get in touch with your local restaurants or businesses and get a deal with them to put the box in there, and you should be all set.